Stay tuned as we take a look at this Mafex Bruce Wayne from the Justice League. Pow and welcome back to the channel, Dan Who Reviews. As always, my name is Dan W. Make sure you are following me on Instagram at It's Dan Who. Today we're going to take a look at this Mafex Bruce Wayne from the Justice League. So that is of course the Ben Affleck portrayal of Bruce Wayne. And he may be my favourite cinematic version of Bruce Wayne we have seen so far. I like that more chiseled, veteran style Bruce Wayne, and it's a shame that we never got to see a solo film of Ben Affleck playing Bruce Wayne. And randomly, the week that I got this is also the week that it's heavily rumoured that Robert Pattinson is going to be the new Batman. So let me know in the comments below, are you a fan of that casting call? I know a lot of people wasn't a fan of Ben Affleck when he first got cast, but it turned out pretty good. So yeah, this figure, I wanted a Bruce Wayne to go along with my Batman I've already got, and I also brought that massive Mattel RC Batmobile in 1/12 scale. So I sort of wanted to build some sort of Batcave diorama for the display eventually, but for that I needed a Bruce Wayne. So I'm very happy to see this in figure form. We get some extra pieces in the box for the tactical version of Batman, which I don't have, but I may be tempted to get it after looking at this figure. We get some spare hands, some batarangs, and yeah, very curious to see how this guy looks out of the box. So standard packaging for all of the Mafex Justice League figures. We've seen this before. We get some promo art on the side and on the back. And on the back, it also tells you that these extra pieces are for the tactical suit Batman. I do think the likeness is pretty good, but we'll see when we get the figure out of the box. So yeah, there's all the bits and bobs of the box. Without further ado, let's get him open. And here we have the Affleck out of the packaging, and I do really like this figure. Let's be honest, when I brought this figure, I wanted a Bruce Wayne for my display, and that's exactly what I've got. So I've got nothing much to complain about. I like the jacket over the suit look. I'm sure you could reuse that for other figures and stuff, but I do like it for Bruce Wayne. I believe this is when he visited Barry Allen, the Flash, in his little headquarters and threw the batarang at him. That is where this look comes from. The face sculpt does quite look like Ben Affleck. It's just very depressed. That's why he's sad flick. I'll zoom in and show you that in a minute. But I thought in regards to height, I'll show you that he does scale quite well with your other Mafex figures. And of course, I'll do some comparisons. But as you can see, it is about 6¼ inches high. And he does come with a ton of accessories as well. Well, I say ton of accessories, basically a lot of interchangeable hands. So before we look at the accessories, I just thought I'd zoom in and try and show you the face. I do think it looks better in person. And when it's displayed on your shelf from a distance, it is undoubtedly Ben Affleck. But maybe zoomed in like this, probably doesn't resemble him that much. But you let me know in the comments, how does it look on screen? I do think it looks like Ben Affleck, definitely from certain angles, maybe not straight on, but it is Ben Affleck, Bruce Wayne, sad flick. Looks very grumpy, I have to admit, but let's be honest, that's Batman. He was a bit depressed. He had seen better days. So while we're zoomed in, there is the rest of the suit. You can take this jacket off, of course, but then you will have just suited arms, so that wouldn't make any sense, but it is like a three-piece sort of suit. Again, I've seen a lot of people doing head swap and stuff with a John Wick figure, because he wears a suit as well, so maybe that's an option if you wanted a more stylish Bruce Wayne. That could be done. I have ordered the John Wick 2 figure from Mafex. It just doesn't come out until later this month, unless it gets delayed. But still, yeah, looking good. So here are the accessories he comes with. As I said, 4 pairs of hands, 3 batarangs. He comes with this sort of parademon gun, and then the interchangeable parts for the tactical suit Batman. Now, I don't have the tactical suit Batman, but it is a nice head, and you do get that net peg. So you can use the Bruce Wayne head on that figure. But I'm going to try it on the other Batman as well, so stay tuned for that. So nothing that exciting, but let me show you what all these hands look like on the figure. So here, the first set of hands that he comes packaged with, just sort of open palms. Then you get 2 pairs of fisted hands, so he can punch people. Then you get some more open palm hands. This is sort of the please don't shoot pose. And then some slightly different open palm hands. And then this 5th set of hands is probably the most useful, as these are the ones where you can get him to hold his batarang in. So they just sort of squeeze in between the fingers, and he can hold it on either hand. So if you wanted to recreate that scene where he meets Barry Allen for the first time, this is where you do it. So there you go. He's holding some batarangs in both hands. And again, you can pose them any way you want. So yeah, these are probably the most useful set of hands out of the 5 sets you get with this figure. I would have probably preferred some trigger finger hands just so I could get Bruce Wayne holding a gun, as he does come with a gun accessory. That would have made sense. But yeah, so while we're here, let's have a look at the Batarang, shall we? So probably not a lot to show on camera, just very silvery with a little bit of detail in it. But I suppose they're quite accurate to the film. We even see these in Shazam. So yeah, these are decent enough. And you get 3 of those Batarangs for your Bruce Wayne. As I've already showed off, you get this Parademon gun, where we do see Batman using it when he's wearing his tactical gear. And this has got some very decent sculpt on it, but the paint is just very metallic, but it is accurate to what we see in the film. So yeah, you can't really get him to hold it. Well, you can sort of, I'll try in a minute, but we don't get any trigger hands, but I'm sure you can get him to hold it. But yeah, it looks decent. I just don't have any Parademons. So using some of the open palm hands, you can actually get Bruce to hold this Parademon weapon if you wanted to. But it is sort of just balanced on there. He's not got the trigger finger in there by any means. But it is okay if you want to display him like that. Now, you know me, when it comes to showing off articulation, that is not my strong point. There's plenty of other YouTubers that do a much better job than that, than me. I just like talking about these toys. But the articulation on this is very good for a Mafex figure. Just got to be careful with the joints. The jacket is flexible and it does have the gaps in the back, so you can get his legs bent up if you want to. Double jointed knees, decent. Elbow joint is decent. Again, they're double jointed. Has he got ankle pivot? Yes, of course he does. Decent ab crunch and waist crunch. So again, it's a guy in a suit. You're going to be able to get him in all the poses you sort of want to get him in. He can touch his head, which is always a good point. So yeah, plenty of articulation for this figure. You're going to be able to get him in the poses you want him in. But my guy is just wearing a suit, so he's going to be standing on my shelf looking grumpy. But if you want to pose him, the options are there. So now that's out of the way, let's compare him to Batman himself. Now, this is the comparison that I personally wanted to see the most. This is my favourite Batman in my 1/12 scale, and it is the Batman from the Justice League film. So, of course, I needed a Bruce Wayne counterpart. But the one question I always ask myself is, will that unmasked head fit on there? Now, I know the net peg that we got with this Bruce Wayne is meant for the tactical suit Batman, but I'm sure it will work there. It will do the same principle. So we will try that. But just in looking at the figure first and foremost, I do see this guy in that suit. So yeah, he's a little bit taller, as he should. He's probably wearing boots and he's got the little cowl. So yeah, I definitely like how these two look together. So let's try this, shall we? So I'm going to unplug the head and the neck, which come off pretty well. So there you go. And make sure you leave the neck ball peg in there. I don't know how well it's coming across on screen, but can you see the ball peg in there? So make sure that stays in there. Then you can get the net peg from this Bruce Wayne. Again, it's meant to be for the tactical suit, but as you can see there, it virtually does the same job. It's just black. It fits in seamlessly. Not a problem at all. So if I zoom back out, now we have our headless Batman. Bring in our Bruce Wayne. Take the Bruce Wayne head off. Make sure the peg stays in the head, so we can peg in the Bruce Wayne here. Pow, you heard it peg in, and there we have it. Our unmasked, uncowled, depressed Affleck in his classic Batman gear. He's just lost an arm, hand, but it's not a problem. We don't need to see the hand. That is our Affleck. It works. That's what I wanted to know. Does it work? It does. So yes, the Ben Affleck unmasked head does work on the Batman. And let's finish with some comparisons, and I had to do this one. Let's check out Bruce Wayne's Marvel counterpart, is of course Tony Stark, and this is the Tony Stark from the Marvel Studios 2-pack with Mark 1. He's holding that Mark 5 briefcase, which looks really good on display, by the way. And while I was going through my sort of figure accessories box, I found this cowl that come with one of the multiverse figures, I believe, but it does work quite well just to get this Bruce Wayne to hold it for just display options or whatever. Doesn't work with him wearing it, of course. He looks like a bloody a murderer, but But yeah, that just looks stupid. But you can use it for displays, maybe take the head off this Batman, balance that on top and build some sort of display. Maybe possibilities are endless, all you ACBA freaks out there. But still, these two look great and they scale quite well. Back to the world of DC for a minute, and here we have Bruce Wayne compared to Aquaman and Wonder Woman. Now this is the S8 Figure Arts Justice League Wonder Woman, and this is the Mafex Justice League Aquaman. But these, as you can tell, they scale great together, they look great together, and I've been slowly building my own movie verse of the Justice League on the shelf, as I didn't think that movie was as bad as everyone makes out. And we're definitely going to see sequels of these two films. Just a shame we're probably never going to see Affleck again. And here we have some movie-verse villains for comparison with Black Mamba from the Aquaman film. And even though this is a multiverse figure, it does scale and look quite good with some of my more premium figures, because this is the S8 Figure Arts Deadshot with the Will Smith unmasked head. And I do think these look great together, more so these two as they were seen in the same film. So let's bring in Harley Quinn, and of course the Joker. All of these are SH Figure Arts, but I do think they scale quite well with this Mafex Bruce Wayne. Maybe Joker's a tiny little bit under scale, but these two at least look great. So yeah, if you're building some sort of DC film verse on your shelf, then these are all definitely going to fit into place. So unfortunately, I do not have a Superman or a Flash or even a Cyborg to compare him to. I do plan on getting those Mafex versions when I sell a kidney or win the lottery, whichever one comes first, as you do have to pick and choose these premium figures, as they do cost a pretty penny. But Batman is my favourite DC character, and this Ben Affleck portrayal of Bruce Wayne / Batman was my favourite in the cinematic universe, so I sort of had to pick him up so he lasts forever on my shelf, as he has now passed the baton over to Matt Reeves and Robert Pattinson, as they seem to be getting their own trilogy. So let's see how that connects to the wider DC universe, shall we? But that's for another day. As always, people, make sure you check out the videos tab. I've always got a DC playlist for when I do review DC action figures. So there are plenty on there. Go and find that DC playlist. And as always, please, please, please hit that subscribe button. Much appreciated. As always, my name's Dan W, and I shall see you on the next one.